This is a video you want to watch to the end. Everything that I'm going to say in this video affects your life right now. The U.S. economy is struggling. And I'm not just talking about the inflation that you're experiencing at the grocery store or at the pump. Right now, we're at a crossroads. I'm not sure if you heard about it, but the Fed just dropped the interest rates by 50 basis points. Every time they've done that, we've seen a similar result. And in this video, I'm going to show you what that historically has meant for the U.S. economy. Welcome to the Mr. Wilson's Got a Headache podcast. I'm your host, Dennis Dominguez. Since you're already here, like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me, depending on which social media site you're seeing this on. Check this out.
This is a viral video posted by Brittany Peach, a former employee of Cloudflare, a San Francisco-based tech company. The video posted on January 2024 and got so much attention that it may have kicked off a new subgenre of viral video. Watch this person get laid off in real time. The tech industry is again seeing widespread layoffs after a rough 2023.
LinkedIn just laid off nearly 700 employees. Qualcomm is planning to cut more than 1,200 jobs.
Google, Amazon, and Snap are among the companies continuing to downsize.
And the start of 2024 seems no different as layoff announcements, especially in the tech industry, continue to make headlines.
Units affected, they also include hardware, engineering, ad sales. So far, last night, CEO Sundar Pichai told his workforce to expect more cuts.
An Amazon spokesperson did confirm those layoffs. The head of Prime and Prime Video and MGM saying in that memo that the company is making some of the cuts to prioritize investments for the long term.
Layoffs are also plaguing industries like healthcare, banking, and media. However, the tech industry is the one that's been dominating the headlines.
This layoff and everything that's happened in tech, I think is pretty eye-opening. You know, like you can have your dream job, you can have your, it's my dream to work for Microsoft, or it's my dream to work for AWS. And you get there and you realize, okay, it's just like any other job. It's a great place to be. There's a lot of great perks, but at the end of the day, they can get rid of you like that.
The layoffs to the start of 2024 signal a dramatic shift in the tech industry. We're going to continue to see layoffs happen as the future of work has changed, as the future of technology has changed, and as investors' appetite for risk and growth versus profitability has dramatically changed as well.
The video I just showed you is from January 2024. During that time, we began to see our first major layoffs, but now we're starting to see those layoffs across different industries. The reason why this is so important is because usually the Fed pivots and lowers rates once they see the job market beginning to tank. And in most cases, the Fed only lowers rates by 25 basis points. So most economists agree that a 50-point drop shows that the Fed believes that we're about to see mass layoffs. And I'm going to show you some of those layoffs in this video. It also shows that employers are no longer hiring quite as much as they used to. According to most job seekers, they currently have to put in 30 resumes just to get 4 responses. And with 4 responses, most job seekers don't get the job. Check this out.
While the jobs numbers obviously have been taking a massive hit lately, with the amount of new jobs coming out has been below expectations. We saw the massive 800,000 plus downward revision of jobs that were never actually created throughout the beginning of this year. And now we have some more interesting jobs data that tells an even worse picture of how things are going with this right now. One of my viewers, Kip, sent me this story. So if you want to understand what's happening with the job market right now, in August this year, it was 76,000 job cuts announced just in 1 month, which was a 193% increase from July. And while it's only a 1% increase year over year, because a year ago was 75,000, that's still a lot. And I'm going to show you guys some visual data, how much the layoffs have picked up, which proves once again that the Fed is lying about this as well, because they said we haven't seen a meaningful uptick in unemployment or layoffs, so therefore we're not worried about it. That's what Jerome Powell just said at his recent press conference. So far this year, companies have announced 536,421 job cuts, which is actually down from the 557,000 announced through August of last year. So people would look at that and say, well, this is a good thing, right? Except when you combine that with how few jobs are being created and the downward revisions in the amount of jobs being created, it tells a different picture. And when you look at this graph here, all the way back to 2021, the amount of job cuts were very low, right? But then what do you notice? Starting towards around the middle of 2022, you start seeing the layoffs pick up, guys. And it has been up and down since then, but it has mostly been way up compared to where it was in 2021.
A few weeks back, I did a video talking about the jobs revision report and how the jobs that we thought were created was around 2.9 million, but actually it was overstated by over 800,000 jobs. And now just from July to August, we've seen 76,000 jobs cut out of the United States economy. And as he said in that clip, that's over a 190% increase in 1 month. In a different video that I put out a few weeks ago, we talked about the stock market, and we talked about Jerome Powell and the Fed cutting interest rates in September, which just happened. In that same video, I said historically when the Fed cuts the interest rates, we usually see a downturn in the stock market and in job creation. Right now, we're seeing all of these things come together. It's almost like a perfect storm. If you're not sure that what I'm saying is the truth, I understand it. I always take what people say with a grain of salt. I always cast some doubt and do my own research. So I got another clip for you that shows you a chart of historically what happened after the Fed cuts interest rates. Check this out.
Federal fund rate has increased 10 times in 14 months. I think it's 11 times in 16 months. So if you look at that, that's the cycle that we've been going, right?
Biggest since Jimmy Carter, 72.
It's just like, bam, we went up. Okay, go lower up to show how the market tanks. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You'll see the chart. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's the one right there. Zoom out a little bit so we can see it. Okay, so stock market valuation and performance after Fed's first rate cut. Okay, you got 74, 80, 81, 84, 89, 95, 2001, 07. So the first rate cut happens. And then if you go a little lower, Rob, it shows the average of how much the decline is, 20.5%. Wow. That's the average. 74.
Just on the first day, you mean?
No, not what? After the first day. It's 94 days or 20 days or 437 days. But after the first rate cut, the market tanks. 27.6%. In 1980, it dropped 2%. 1981 dropped 22.6%. 84 dropped 1%. 89 dropped 8%. 95 dropped half. 2001 dropped 42%. Okay. After the first rate cut, which is what, a year and 9 months. The first one is a 3 months. The third one is a year and 2 months. And then the 55.5%, that's how many years? That's a year and a half. And a 24.2 that we went through just 4 years ago was in how long? In roughly 7 months, right? Give or take, that it dropped 24.2. So if on average, if we go based on this, there's going to be a 20.5 market correction within 3 months to 18 months based on history.
The chart that he was just talking about shows what happens after the Fed cuts interest rates from the year 1974 all the way to 2019. And on average, the stock market falls by 20%. Now, by no means is that a guarantee, but it is the most likely thing to happen. But when you couple that with all of this inflation and the job cuts that we've seen, it looks like we're headed for a recession. Now, I've also said in one of my other videos that the only reason we're not in a recession right now, according to the government, is because the Biden administration changed the definition of what a recession was. There's another point that you have to consider. We've always entered a recession when the price of precious metals rose beyond its normal rate. In 2019 to 2020, 2021, the price of gold was sitting around $1,800 to around $2,000 an ounce. Right now, gold is at $2,600 an ounce. But one of the biggest things that happens is the housing market usually crashes. And when that happens, just like in 2008, that's when most people start paying attention. My goal is to get you to pay attention right now and to prepare yourself right now. But again, don't just take my word for it. Let's see what they have to say about the housing market.
How does this affect the housing market?
There was an article.
47% of realtors didn't do a single deal last year.
Well, there you go. So that's like a
47% didn't sell one house last year.
So, Vinny, that would be like
Half
a 47%
of realtors didn't
layoff.
sell one house last year.
And go to the other chart that right before that one.
I believe that because it comes down to the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. 20% are doing 80% of the business and 80%
But you're
are doing 20%.
talking one. Now go back to that, Rob. 47% of the rate show that. 47%.
Wow.
Half real estate agents around this report survey, 2,000 random agents, companies, California, Florida, Pennsylvania, Orlando. Wow, go a little lower to see what are the numbers it says about houses. 70% of agents sold 5 or more. So, I want to know what percentage of realtors and loan officers left the industry.
The median number of sales was 2. How do you live on 2 sales a year?
Insane.
You don't. You do it part-time or you're pretending to be a realtor when you're not really one.
That's right.
I've seen all this in Miami. It's
You doing OnlyFans?
You got the fakers and you got the doers.
Most realtors in the United States have only sold 2 houses in 2023. And a big majority of those realtors have left the market and started other businesses or gotten a job or started other side hustles. Why would you buy a house when that same house right before the pandemic was $250,000 and now they want to sell it to you for $450,000? And yet again, I did a video on the car market probably about 2 or 3 months ago, and we talked about how many repossessions were happening. Have you seen a repossession in your neighborhood? Have you experienced a repossession recently? Have you seen the price of trucks go from $50,000 to $100,000? Do everything you need to do now to prepare for what is most likely to happen. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating. I want to know what you think about it. Again, do me a favor. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. The comment section is open. And as always, I'll see you on the next video.